Working hard on the back straight, trying to get the temperatures up in the tyres, the clutch, the brakes. Could have been an interesting start to this one. We'll see what happens, but yeah, it's a long race. Going to have to look after the tyres. 16 laps around here. Very slippery track, very technical, easy to make a mistake. Yeah, it's going to be tough. Just making sure I've got all the settings in the right places. All looks good. See if we can have a bit of fun with this one.
Well, no Felipe Nasser moments for Rob Huff or anybody else.
Yeah, the settings he's talking about there on the steering wheel for they have start maps. But then we're going to see all the guys are staying in the outside lane there. None of them are peeling off to the left just yet because, like I said, the inside line's really dusty. So I wouldn't be surprised to see some of the guys on the inside making a pretty bad start.
Yeah, and the reason they don't want to go all the way down the inside is because it'll just pick up dust, and dust doesn't grip as well as rubber does, and the rubber is very hot and will be very sticky. It is like chewing gum, basically. Anything that you ride over will stick to it. And so as they peel off, you just saw the grid starting to form. In the centre of your shot, Yves Maton ahead of Citroën Racing. Total Citroën Sport. Ivan Muller not quite forward in his grid spot. This is hard to judge. You're so low in the car.
Lopez looks slightly forward of his.
Coronel, well, he's in it. Coronel trying to find his. Red lights are on for the first race in Moscow, and they go off very quickly. Decent start from Lopez. Where's Tarquini? He has not got the greatest start. Huff is inside him. Can't get through, and through goes Ivan Muller ahead of Jose Maria Lopez. Out very wide goes Ricard Rydell as Norbert Michelis bumps his way inside Thiago Montero. Chilton in front of the black and red car, the second black and red car, that's Norbert Michelis. So Muller, Lopez, Tarquini and Huff, then Chilton. Marr got by Tom Chilton, didn't he, in the Citroën?
Yeah.
Yes, he did.
Yeah, he has. That's a good start he's had there from the line.
And there's a Lada offline there, and that will be Nicky Katzberg being dive-bombed by Tom Coronel, who goes a long way around the alley. It's not, it's Jaap van Lagen. Oh, and contact between the Dutch drivers. And Coronel, who's not had the best of times, gets turned around on the run up the hill towards corner 9.
Coronel won't be very happy about that, I don't think.
Oh, and off has gone Bernani and Daste. Well, Coronel and Daste aren't having much of a weekend, nor is Bernani. 9 is an uphill approach, pop over the brow into a tight left-hander. And Harry, you talked about it in free practice. We often see incidents there because you're on the extreme right, the door looks open and suddenly gets slammed very shut.
Yeah, and as the tyres start to drift away, then people start making mistakes. So it's going to become an interesting corner.
Well, Bernani, shunted from behind. It wasn't a door open. Daste just got too deep in under braking, and as you pop over that brow, car goes light.
Yeah, just locked up.
So Huff looking at Tarquini at the end of the front straight. He'll want to strike early if he can. On the podium here would be a great run for Rob Huff if he could achieve it. We already heard from Gabrielli early on saying after a couple of laps the Citroëns will be gone and the race will be over. Maybe not so much. There's Gregoire de Moustier in the Craft Bamboo car, tailing Jaap van Lagen.
I wonder if Van Lagen's had a problem. He seemed to slow down quite dramatically in the middle there and then
I wonder whether there was something in the electronics where the car just sort of wouldn't change gear or wouldn't rev or something, because he did look suddenly to be off the pace. There is Rob Huff, car number 12. The world champion. In fact, our first 4 qualifiers were all world champions on the grid. Muller, Lopez, Tarquini and Huff. So again, as ever, the cream rising to the top in qualifying when it really mattered.
So far so good for Huff in this car as well. But, you know, we know that the Lada's made a big step forward before this weekend, and he seems to be tailing on that Honda fairly effectively, which is good news. But I guess this is where we're going to see how well it looks after its tyres.
Yeah. Well, 2 things happened when they were testing after the Hungaroring before they went to the Nordschleife. First, Rob Huff had a monumental shunt at turn 1 when he had a left front hub failure. But before that, on their first air testing, The car was over 9/10 faster when they've made some testing improvements to it than Huff had been able to go in qualifying, his fastest laps. So they have made a big step with that car. Stewards will look at the incident between Daste and Bernani after the race. Or we'll look at it now and decide where there's a penalty to be applied. I'm afraid I think Daste might end up getting a bit of a drive-through for that, because clearly wasn't Bernani's fault from where we were sat.
No. Did you see that Citroen pull away from Montero on the straight there? The difference was absolutely huge.
In the background, Hugo Vallant battling with Ricard Rydell. I wonder how Rydell is going to stand up to the heat. He said he's only just started light training in the last week or so. So he said he feels healthy, but I don't think he feels like an ox anymore. He's been laid low, laid very low for the last couple of months by thyroiditis. Muller and Lopez. Muller not pulling away, and Lopez not getting away from Tarquini either. I mean, this is a circuit where the Citroens can't use their long wheelbase stability in high-speed corners. They can't use their superior speed down the straight. Looking here at a replay at the final corner, Hugo Vallant dives inside. Nicky Katzberg takes the place and loses it on the exit, and Ricard Rydell tries to come around him as well. Lots of good racing going on there. That was the battle for 10th place.
Muller was 2/10 slower than Lopez on that previous lap as well, so...
Well, Jose Maria's in the slipstream, and again we see a battle as Sebastian Loeb is going to lose a place to Thiago Montero. Montero goes through, Sebastian Loeb loses 8th position. So another change of place there. Thiago Montero now up to 8th place, looking to gain as many points from race 1 as he can. He'll start race 2 on pole. And Harry, how much do you think that's going to have just any effect in race 1, that he doesn't want to damage the car?
Yeah, he's going to have that in his mind, because race 2 is a really serious opportunity for Honda, the works team, to get a race win here. So yeah, he won't be wanting to cause too much damage, but likewise he also won't be giving up points too easily either.
Only one Honda winner so far, and that's this year. That's the Zengo Motorsport driver Norbert Mikulits. Let's take a look at the starting grid from behind. Muller did get a good launch. Tarquini, I was singing his praises early on. Horrible start, but look at Montero.
Yeah, Chilton had a rotter.
Absolute flyer.
Chilton had a real rotter of a start there as well. He lost a load of time, but was lucky to cover the inside before anyone could make a move on him.
Ricard got a long way around the outside, nearly picked up places. That's Norby, his view. And Chilton went through on the inside. Not sure whose camera that was. Well, was that Montero's? And there's Daste hoofing off Mehdi Bernani. And this will be Van Lagen and Coronel. That's Yap's camera.
Difficult one, that, because he didn't really have a lot of space. He obviously tried to give Coronel the room on the inside and put a wheel on the grass and just ran into his rear corner. So I think that'll be one of those racing driver arguments which they can sort out.
Lead quartet are pulling away from Ma Qing Ha, but Ma fastest in the second sector at the moment. On board with Jaap van Lagen behind Hugo Vallant. That's the battle for 11th. Muller is now starting to make a little ground between himself and Jose Maria Lopez. Lopez similarly just a little in front of Tarquini. No space at all between Tarquini and Huff. If Huff is going to take a place, then this will be the race that he wants to do it in. And Lopez, despite being in Muller's slipstream and running less wing, is not staying with him on the straight. Now, that's got to be a decision he is making rather than Muller being able to pull away.
Possibly, but well, sorry, that's not, yeah. He is still on him. I mean, Muller's just put a faster lap in there, like a seriously fast lap. Yeah. But they've both just found 0.3 of a second over their fastest lap previously, so...
Ooh, Philippe and de Moustier get together, the Belgian and the Corsican. And the Corsican driver running off track there, so that's another one to look at. Incident between Coronel and car 1. Who's car 1? I don't have a car 1. Anyway, involving car 4, lap 1. Okay, so I mean Jaap van Lagen. So into the garage has come Grégoire de Moustier. Not quite sure. No, that was a legacy, Philippe rather, not sure if that was a legacy of that incident or maybe what led to it. Battles all the way down the order. Van Lagen and Vallant hard at it, right behind Katzberg. Yep, showing his nose on the inside. tiny bit of fifth lane ditch hooking there going on, but no dramas. Ricardo Reidel not quite able to stay with this little battle. So in front, Nicky Katzberger first, those two larders is 10th, Valent is 11th in the Dayglow and white Chevrolet, and Jaap van Lagen in 12th, Reidel 13th. And Muller, fastest race lap, 140.44, the lap record from last year, 140.14. So we're still 3 tenths away from that. We were way under in qualifying, way inside the qualifying record, well over a second inside it. On board is Rob Huff.
Huff is looking very racy. He was faster on the, not that lap just gone, but the previous lap and the lap prior to that. He was faster than Tarquini. He was all over the back end of him, so that could heat up quite nicely. Big slide from
Mistake from Valent, and he loses ground to the man behind him, Jaap van Lagen. Here comes Mehdi Benani trying to put in a move around the outside of Tom Coronel. And Benani doesn't quite get through on the outside, but he cuts to the inside. That is a really good bit of racing driving, Harry. He sold the defence on the outside and then cut inside.
It was a great move, wasn't it? He managed to get the cut back done and tucked it up the inside, and I don't think Coronel even sort of imagined that coming, but yeah, great move. Just shows the strength of that Citroen chassis, though, to be able to come back on that kind of angle.
Yeah. Again, it can turn. It's like the Chevrolets used to be compared to everybody else. It can turn inside anyone. Mistake from Valent over the brow. You saw the car slide, and suddenly Van Lagen trying to snap him up. But from corner 9 here, 10, 11, downhill off camber 11, that right-hander, and then down into 12, 13, 14. There's really no way to get through unless you nerve the car off in front.
Valent looks like he's struggling with the rear end a little bit. We're seeing him having fairly major slides on quite a lot of occasions here.
It is oversteer city, that car, isn't it? And maybe that explains his lack of speed, because Van Lagen really trying hard not to tap in there.
Yeah, I wonder if his rear tyres are going away or something, but he just, the last couple of laps certainly seems to be getting a little bit wild.
And he had no speed in qualifying either, did he? I mean, really unusually, he wasn't in the top 5. He's been in the top 5 Q3 shootout the last 3 straight race weekends. Van Lagen down the inside. That's candy from a baby.
It is, but he could come back on the inside here, but yeah, no. Nope. Good move.
Yeah, good move from Van Lagen, but clearly Valent in trouble with the rear. They want the car to steer a bit at the rear, but it looks like his car, and actually Coronel's as well, oversteering too much. I mean, we saw Tom Coronel on Friday or Saturday changing springs because he said it's too soft at the front, it's oversteering too much, but they clearly still haven't got that sorted in his car or in Valent's car.
We also know the Chevys are obviously carrying a bit of extra ballast this weekend from Valent's impressive performance over the last few weekends, so that will have helped on the brakes there, maybe why they allowed him so easy to outbrake him.
I think Huffy is feeling that the Honda in front, and that's who we're riding with, may be holding him up a bit. I think Huff probably also thinks that if he could get by Tarquini, he might even get to Lopez. Whether he'll pass him or not is neither here nor there, but getting by Tarquini is definitely still top of Huff's agenda.
Where performance matters, you'll find Total Quartz.
Gabriele Tarquini may have the opportunity now to start to think about second place instead of third, as he closes on Jose Maria Lopez. Lopez gap to Ivan Muller is now 3.1 seconds. At the line last time, Lopez was 1.3 ahead of Tarquini. Whether that remains the same, I'm not entirely sure. Rob Huff, 0.9 behind from 0.7, but again, in the slipstream of 2 cars now, Huff might close a little down the straight. Then the next battle, Tom Chilton, Norbert Michelis, and then Thiago Monteiro, Sebastian Loeb. Chilton and Michelis, the 2 red and black cars, working together as one unit in the air. They're still not catching Mars Citroen. You can see that Michelis is having trouble getting the Honda turned in there, and
that's Huffy.
That is Huff on Tarquini. Tarquini may be having the same problems in corner 1 and 2 as we saw from Michelis.
Huffy had a mega lap on the previous lap there. I was just looking at the times just as this battle kicked off.
And Huff is all over Gabriele. And there'll be an awful lot of people in yellow shirts leaping up and down if he can manage to get by the Honda in the remaining 3 laps.
because Gabrielli had a good lap on the previous lap, but Huff had an even better one, so he pulled 3.5 tenths out of him on the previous lap.
Tiniest of touches. Gabrielli knows he's there anyway. That wasn't a wake-up call from Rob. That was just taking the tighter line. And it's interesting that the Lada has still got the grip to take the tighter line, despite sitting in the hot wake of Tarquini's car for the last dozen laps. Tarquini has redoubled his efforts to try and pull away, hasn't he, in the twisty section. And then up the straight, this is where Rob in the slipstream will pick up a few hundreds more in terms of time as he gets a little bit more speed in the Lada in the slipstream of the Honda. Lopez not getting away either, really, is he?
No, he's not.
That mistake that dropped him from almost 2 seconds away is now being compounded.
I think what happened there, Gabrielli made a mistake in sector 1, looking at the way the times have panned out, but he's obviously recovered from that, and that's what allowed Rob to catch up so dramatically there.
Last time round, Muller 1:42.20, Lopez 1:42.22, Tarquini 42.39, Huff 42.42, and the fastest man on track last lap, Ma 1:42.12. So he is in 5th place, he is the man on the move, but he's got a lot of moving to do to try and catch Rob Huff. 13 laps completed, and Tom Coronel now starting to run out of options as he runs out of tyre. Drifts out way wide in corner 1, and that relieves some pressure on de Moustier. Now the young Belgian won't have the Dutchman in his mirror in the next couple of corners, and that'll allow him just to breathe a sigh of relief, maybe gasp a bit more air in.
Yeah, look, the Lada is able to carry a lot of entry speed, isn't it? From turn into the middle of the corner to the apex, it's able to carry roll a lot of speed up to that apex, which is certainly seems better than the Honda in that respect. But the Honda seems to leap off the corner a bit faster.
It does. And Rob is always playing catch-up up the straight. Thiago Monteiro now leaving Sebastian Loeb behind him. And Loeb cannot close up the straight. There's Mark. What's the gap over? Gap's come down to Tom Chilton. It's now down to 1.8 seconds. Still too much probably to make up in 2 laps. We're now starting lap 15 of 16. All the Russians here will be going, come on, Huffy. Desperate to see the Lada go by for 3rd place. There's a lot of fans here, guests of Lada. A lot of fans here, guests of Rosneft as well, the title sponsor. And lots of yellow in the paddock. So where's Tarquini looking? Is he looking at Lopez, or is he watching Huff in his mirrors?
I think he knows that he's weak in sector 1 compared to Rob in the Lada, so I guess he'll just be trying to make sure he doesn't make any mistakes to allow Rob up too close in sector 1.
The only place you can afford a mistake is in this sector here, where it's very hard to find any momentum to get by somebody, because you're constantly braking, turning, accelerating.
Yeah, we've only ever really seen a few either forced overtakes there or when people have made a mistake.
The run up to turn 9 is Rob Huff's best opportunity, or from corner 1 to 2 to 3, or at the end of the straight, but he's just not getting close enough at the end of the straight.
These Ladas, though, it's very impressive. I mean, up and down the field there, we're seeing them sticking with Citroens and Hondas, and the Honda, again, that seems to have taken the fight to the Citroen. Yep. Monteiro there, Loeb's not able to make any progress on him, really. Well,
and remember that I talked about Van Lagen being 2.5 seconds behind 3 laps ago. He's now under a second behind Sebastian Loeb. So not only is Loeb not able to get past Monteiro's Honda, but the Citroens are being caught by the Ladas. And again, that underlines what I suspect Rob Huff thinks, that if he'd been able to get in front of Gabrielli at the start, he could have given those Citroens a tougher time than he's been able to so far.
Yeah, it tells us that the Lada's looking after its tyres very well as well, which is good to see.
Well, Van Lagen's last lap, a 1:42.24. Loeb's last lap, a 1:42.44. So that's 0.2 a lap quicker than the Citroen driver. And in fact, Van Lagen's best race lap, a 1:41 140.75. Loeb's best race lap, a 41.39.
Yeah, Loeb seems to be struggling a little bit. I mean, it's quite a long way down on his teammates, and he's normally there or thereabouts, isn't he? So
yeah, Loeb in the 41s. All the other, I know Mars' fastest race lap was a 41.08. All the other Citroen drivers' fastest race laps are in the 40s. Lopez a 40.58, Van Lagen a 40.75. So Van Lagen.
Coronel
Really?
obviously retiring with some sort of ailment.
Looks like he might have a bit of an overheating issue. He's in the pits. Going to start a long way down the grid on race 2 as well. 14th place.
Here's Huffy in the background.
Yeah.
Dodged out of the sling.
Well, checkered flag is out for our winner. It is Ivan Muller. Huff doesn't get to Gabriele Tarquini. He's having a run at the line. Not close enough. Double checkered flags, because the first one is inside corner 1 and very hard to see. And the margin for Gabriele Tarquini, 0.29, in 3rd place ahead of Rob Huff. So Ivan Muller wins it. Jose Maria Lopez in 2nd place, Tarquini 3rd, Huff 4th, Mar, Chilton, Mikulicz, Montero, Loeb and Van Lagen. So Nicky Katzberg in 11th place, just out of the points in his first race. No mechanical carnage, no crashes at the front end of the field to take account of any of the cars that started in front of him. But Katzberg, a good race from him. His teammate got by and showed some real pace as well. Yeah, Van Lagen. So too did Rob Huff. Huffy's fastest lap, a 40.71. Tarquini's a 40.83. So the Honda now not as quick as the Lada on a track that should suit the Honda. In Parc Fermé. Your race winner here in Moscow, round 9 of the 2015 FIA World Touring Car Championship, is Ivan Muller. We talked to Tom Chilton about heat beforehand. He said the Citroen drivers get out, look like they've not even been in the car, and you're absolutely right. Look, barely a bead of sweat on Ivan Muller. And Harry, it's really important to keep the driver comfortable. I mean, temperature-wise, if the driver's core temperature gets too high, then all of the focus that should be going into driving the car and racing it, some of that is distracted by the heat. Look how hot Gabriele Tarquini looks in contrast. Well, Alex Le Guy is down in Parc Fermé. Let's hear now from our race winner, Ivan Muller.
Superb off the line for Ivan Muller, who wins here in Russia, race 1. Congratulations.
Thank you. It was a great race. It was a long race. To be honest, I was asking my pit board when is the end of the race, because from inside it felt long.
You say that, and yet you're really not sweating very much.
He's inside, I tell you. He's inside.
Now listen, it's a very slippery track out there, but proving your prowess as an ice driving pro.
Yeah, it's a bit different, you know, because ice driving is 4-wheel drive, here is front-wheel drive, and the speed are not the same. So now the technique is completely different, but every experience is a good experience anyway.
Brilliant. Congratulations, Ivan.
I think that was Ivan just saying, I'm actually that good. Nobody can stop me or whatever I do, so there you go, have that. No, but to be fair, that was fantastic effort from Ivan. He probably got a little bit overlooked in that race because he kind of drove away at the front there and did as we've seen him do so many times before, got his head down and was spotless from start to finish, and yeah, you can't take that away from him. And you know, even leading a race like that, it's difficult, it's tough, because you do need to push hard. You're the first car that's going to have tyre problems. When your tyres start going off, the other guys following you can see where you're starting to go, then they can back off accordingly, but you're the one who has to set the pace.
And maybe that little extra bit of wing that he had over Jose Maria Lopez just helped him keep the tyre alive. Again, that'll be down to a bit of an individual driving style. Lopez wanted a bit of a quicker car up the straight, I assume, and felt that he could handle it better around the corners with less rear wing.
Yeah, and the other thing with a little bit less rear wing, obviously, it gives you a little bit more oversteer in the high-speed corners, so perhaps that was something that Lopez was feeling that he needed later in the race. So, yeah, you know, as the race goes on, you're still getting that rotation in the high-speed stuff.
Gabriele Tarquini looking very warm on the podium for the Castrol Honda team. And Jose Maria Lopez now sees his championship lead reduce marginally. It was 50 points before the race, and it is now 7 points left, less. Ivan Muller now closes to 43 points behind.
Where performance matters, you'll find Total Quartz. The FIA WTCC is delivered. Where performance matters, you'll find Total Quartz. The FIA WTCC is delivered by DHL. Yokohama, your tire. The FIA WTCC is brought to you by JVC Kenwood.
The grid is complete. Round 10 of the FIA World Touring Car Championship here at Moscow Raceway. On the left with the green and white is Thiago Montero's Honda. On the right of your picture with the yellow, that is the Lada of rookie Nicky Katzberg. 5 red lights are on, away they go. Good start from Katzberg, good start from Thiago Montero. And here comes Norbert Nicholas. Contact with the Lada, he goes around the outside. And Ma is up to 3rd place. Qinghua Ma goes out very wide, drops down to 4th. Behind Katzberg, who will get his Lada in front, and Rob Huff is right by Hugo Vallant. Ma is in between a rock and a hard place. He's on the wrong line. He's got dirt on his tyres. Vallant gets through, and now right behind Huff is, I guess, Lopez. Lopez in the 2nd Citroen. Ma's got Huff on the inside, and that is that's Jaap van Lagen trying to go by Sebastian Loeb further back. Van Lagen gets dive bombed by Rickard Rijdel, who's made a good start. Van Lagen going backwards, I'm afraid. Not having the best weekend here. I think Huff got shuffled back a tiny bit. Van Lagen right in the thick of where all the action was in race 1, lap 1. Daste's off wide, inside goes Bennani. A little further up the order, everything's staying relatively calm. Bennani going outside of Daste to go inside again. There's some grip to give away. And look at Rijdel going by Coronel. The blue car is Rijdel, trying to go inside the DHL Chevy, can't quite do it.
Coronel's already had a hit from the back again.
Yeah, Van Lagen is right there as well in 46, the yellow Lada. Here comes Rijdel up the straight. Rickard looking really racy. You wouldn't think he's been out of the cockpit for over 2 months. Thiago Montero leads, Norbert Mikel is 2nd, Nicky Katzberg 3rd on the podium at the moment. Only 15 laps to hold it. Chilton holding off. Muller, who's got Lopez inside, there's a rub. Just get away with that, don't they? But on board with Muller. Where is Lopez? Lopez is inside into turn 1. Muller uses the grippy outside line. He's going to try and hang on. And Lopez leaves in room. Muller still there on the outside. Lopez still leaves in room, but has the inside line in turn 1 and turn 2. Takes the place away and moves into 10th.
That was great stuff. A great opportunity taken by Lopez. There was a really small little love tap there, but nothing too malicious.
Just in front of them is Tom Chilton's red and black Chevy. There you can see the battle for 3rd place. And into the final corner. Lopez got in deep there, and Muller tried to close the door late on in the turn.
I think actually what happened, Muller was trying to get a cut back on Chilton and turn up the inside, but Lopez saw the opportunity and managed to get inside both of them.
Yep. Well, got inside Muller eventually. Worked hard for it. There's Thiago Montero leading the race from Norbert Michelis. Ma again in trouble. Huff on the inside. Through goes Tarquini as well. But look how far they've dropped away from Vallant in just 1 lap. It's about 1.5 seconds. They needed to get Ma out of the way. He's holding them up there. And I think Ma's car might be in trouble, actually, from maybe contact early on.
Montero's getting his head down there, putting in some really impressive laps early on.
Well, let's take a look at this. Oh, jump start from Qinghua Ma. That's not good. So he has dropped back and might get a penalty as well. He went while the lights were on, but before they changed. Loeb behind, now trying to get at least one successful overtake in this weekend, and it'll have to be on his teammate. Mikelit's fastest race lap in second place. Look again at the blue Honda of Rickard Rydell. Inside, Jaap van Lagen. Had to back out of that one at the last moment. It wasn't happening for him. And whatever Coronel's done to his car might be working, because he's staying in front of Bernani, and Bernani's not closing. We're right behind with Van Lagen. And then the blue car, that's Rydell. Then the black car, Daste. Now with Chilton, Lopez is right up his exhaust. Tom Chilton is in 9th. Sebastian Loeb was in 8th at the line. Mar in 7th. Those are the two cars right in front. Chilton's caught Mar, and here comes Lopez. I tell you what, he likes a pass, does Jose Maria Lopez, doesn't he?
He does, doesn't he? He's not leaving any stone unturned with the opportunities he's having a look at.
Like a rat up a drain pipe, he is. And Mar has dropped way off. No, Loeb's dropped way off Mar. Mar's suddenly found his speed again. He's got his mojo working. And Loeb is now holding up Chilton. And Chilton, in turn, is worried that Lopez is going to appear alongside him. And it will be, won't it? It won't be a tiny overlap. He'll suddenly be a full car alongside, and that'll be that. Car 37, the start is under investigation. And that is Jose Maria Lopez, in fact, who was creeping. I thought that was Mar, maybe not. Maybe it was. Oh, it was Lopez in front of Muller, in front of Loeb, rather. OK, so Lopez needs to hurry up, because he might end up getting a drive-through for a jump start.
Mitchell, it's quicker again on that lap.
Chilton getting beaten up here. Jose Maria Lopez goes by. Ivan Muller is going to sit behind him. It'll be a white wall on the outside, and Tom gives Jose Maria a little nudge, and Ivan comes up the inside, and he gives Lopez a little nudge. So I'm liking this.
Yeah, they've obviously got no team order. Oh, Chilton back up the inside.
3 wide. Well, that doesn't beat the record. We had 4 wide down the front straight before. Chilton takes the place back.
Good move back from Chilton there as well.
Excellent. Top racing. Pulling away out front, by the way, Montero and Mikelitz. Then 1.6 seconds back to Katzberg, Vallant, Huff, Tarquini. And then Mar has dropped off the tail of that little group by about a second and a bit behind Tarquini.
Look at Huff's last lap time. He's a full half a second faster than anybody else.
1:40.89. That was only 4/10 off the fastest race lap in race 1. Great stuff here. Lopez nudged out wide by Chilton. Keeps his foot in. Contact with Muller as he comes back, and yeah, well, the Citroën guys laugh because they all got away with that.
It looks like they're doing that testing that you were talking about.
Yeah, exactly. Well, there you go.
Driving into each other. Okay,
drive-through has been announced for Jose Maria Lopez, so his chance of scoring points is done. Vallant under pressure from Tarquini, and Huff has got through them all. Huff is now riding shotgun for Vallant, his new teammate. And it is an all-Honda affair for the lead. Montero versus Mikelitz. Don't see, where did Huffy get by these two guys? We didn't see that, but Huffy, that is all Nicky Katzberg's wildest dreams come together. Huff can sit behind him. He's won races, he's taken podiums.
Do you think he will sit behind him? I'm not so sure if he will.
Where performance matters, you'll find Total Quartz. The International University Sports Federation brings together millions of students worldwide around the same values: excellence in mind and body. Thousands of students, hundreds of universities participate in FISU events, the rendezvous for the best student athletes. Today's stars, tomorrow's leaders. Yokohama, your tire.
Thiago Montero leads here in Moscow, race 10 of the FIA World Touring Car Championship. What you're looking at is an all-Citroën battle for 6th position. 33, Quinhua Ma. 9, Sebastian Loeb. 68, Ivan Muller. 37, Jose Maria Lopez, our world champion. He has had a drive-through for that. For going before the lights changed, a jump start. He gained nothing because he stopped dead and then was gone. But you move. It's not if you gain, it's if you move. System automatically registers movement, and he was out. Gabriele Tarquini out of the race after a collision with Nicky Katzberg, the rookie. Tarquini lunged to the inside of the 4th place Lada. Contact. Tarquini's own car suffered a suspension breakage that pitched him off the road. Katzberg still in 4th. So top 2 Hondas, there you go. Thiago Montero leading the black and red car of Norbert Mikulec. 3rd and 4th, thank you very much, in Moscow, Ladas. 5th place is Chevrolet. 6th, 7th and 8th is the best that Citroën can muster at the moment in race 2. Halfway through, doesn't look like it's going to get an awful lot better for Citroën either.
No, it doesn't, but look at the speed of Huff. That is now down to half a second behind, from nearly 3 seconds down.
Well, you know what, with Rob Huff, if he's in 4th, he wants to be 3rd. He's now in 3rd. He doesn't want to be 3rd because he's catching both Hondas, and he knows from following Gabriele in race 1, he's faster than the Hondas.
Yeah.
And we know from him following Gabriele, he's faster than the Hondas. He's got 5 laps after this to get it done.
Yeah, there's still a long way to go. Yeah.
It's going to be mighty tough, but he's going to give it a try.
This Lada, it just seems to hold on to its tyres, and obviously the Hondas are definitely starting to struggle now. The Hondas have dropped off about 1.5 seconds from their ultimate lap pace.
And you can actually see Huff gaining corner by corner on those Hondas.
Yeah.
Right now, he is having a remarkable run. He was 1.4 seconds, 2 seconds behind, but behind the leader, but that is now coming right down.
It's great seeing the Citroëns all battling it out as well. There's definitely no team orders going on here. They're all fist fighting with each other, which is what we want to see.
Absolutely right. Of course, the tyre temperatures, the factory cars will have tyre sensors for sensing the temperature of the tyres during the races. They'll know what temperatures they got to, so they'll maybe be able to play a little bit with tyre pressures for race 2 based on that, because these conditions are not like they were in race 1. And one of the Alan Menus engineer Albert was just saying that he reckons the ex-Chevy drivers' tyre management is absolutely stunning. So Rob Huff, you know, that's part of why his Lada is so much quicker than the lead Hondas at the moment, is that, as you said, Harry, he's keeping the tyres alive and using that extra speed. Now, the other side of that coin, of course, is from the first corner, Thiago Montero, the leader, has been battling with Norbert Mikulec.
Look at that.
So now they've got no tyre left. Huff has had a cleaner run through from 7th on the grid.
It's amazing, actually. You can tell that Rob's been heavily involved in the development of this car, because it actually looks like the old spec Chevrolet does.
Yeah.
The way its chassis characteristics on track, the way it turns in, the way it holds a tight line, and it can keep turning in tighter in the middle of the corner. It looks very, very reminiscent.
We talked about that, didn't we, when we talked about the development that Lada. Rob Huff drove, as you said, for RML Chevrolet. He knows what a good front-wheel drive touring car feels like. I mean, he really knows. For Jaap van Lagen and certainly for Nicky Katzberg, they've got no idea, because they haven't been in a front-running, top-of-the-field car like the Chevy Cruze was. And then Rob also drove the Seat as well, sort of, you know, in its dearth, but it was still, in its time, a top car. So he's got to lead the development, because even if Nicky stays and produces good race results, and if Jaap stays and produces good race results, they can't drive development because they don't know what good is. Rob has that key, and in fact, James Thompson had that key as well, but he's not in the team at the moment. Grégoire de Moustier battling with Stefano D'Aste. De Moustier having a little bit more get up and go in him in race 2, and again, maybe that is from race 1. We talked to his engineer about, you know, trying to light a fire under him a little bit after taking it easy, but this is another new track for him. As you know, we were saying, in race 2, he'll finish the weekend knowing far more about Moscow than he did before the races started.
Here comes Huffy. He's all over him now, isn't he?
Yeah.
It's a matter of time, I think.
Norby's last lap, a 1:42.6, Huffy's a 1:42.3, but Huffy's speed is now going to be completely dictated by the pace of the car in front of him. He's got to make a move on Norby sooner rather than later before Huff's own tyres start to overheat.
Look at the line that Huffy can pull in that Larder. He's able to turn in so much tighter and hold the line.
There's Jaap van Lagen watching in the Larder garage. And he'll be very excited to see a Larder getting right again into a podium position. Nicky Katsberg and Rob Huff had a really good run in race 1 and race 2. That didn't have all that wanted in qualifying, and that sort of set him back in the race. Nevertheless, Huffy's showing that this car has got lots of speed, and as a driver, Harry, that's what you want. You want to know that you've got a good car, and they have got a good car.
Yeah, it's great to see the gap close to the Citroens as well, from the Honda and from the Larder.
De Moustier, Lopez has now got by Dastay as he continues to close up the order. So he is now in 12th. On board with Jose Maria Lopez, right behind Stefano Dastay. This is where it happened. Dastay using all the roads, and Lopez not, and still going through and going faster.
Yeah.
And ditch hooking like a proper rally driver. He's obviously got into the spirit of driving in Russia. Looking from Muller. See, Muller can't stay with Mar and Loeb at the moment, or maybe he's just not, because he realises that it might be a little fruitless. At the moment, he's in 8th. Lopez, having moved ahead of Dastay, is 2 places from the points. And Huff, a lap on, still can't get by Norby. He's up the inside, not got the overlap. Turns through that corner tighter. He came off it tighter.
There he is.
Here we go, and he's through. Contact, but he is in. Now, as long as nothing's broken on either car, that'll be okay, because the door was open, and that was onto the back straight, and now he'll leave Norby. And the hard-worked Larder mechanics are very happy with that.
That was a great move. Watch, just manages to get inside. Norby sees him coming, tries to leave him a bit of room, and a slight touch, but...
Well, Norby knew he was in trouble, didn't he, when Rob caught him that closely. Rob had to throw it in sideways there. Again, that was almost pitched in on the handbrake to try and avoid T-boning him. And through comes Mar on Vallant. And Vallant was in 5th place. So Qinghua Ma now up to 5th, and through 2 goes Sebastian Loeb, and next will be Yvan Muller. Vallant's tyres must have just fallen off a cliff somewhere.
Yeah, he just got mugged by the Citroens there, didn't he?
Yeah, but he was up behind Nicky Katsberg, and this group is now 4 seconds behind Nicky Katsberg. I mean, he must almost feel like he's driving on the rims. Muller inside Loeb. Yeah, and through, contact, but he's through, and Loeb is now going to get jumped on by Chilton.
What a great race.
Yeah, and most of the excitement coming from the Citroens duffing each other up. I tell you, Muller doesn't even need a half chance, does he?
Yeah, watch that.
Where's this opportunity come from? He was outside, came inside just in case. Bingo. Door's not open, he's still got his foot in, and through he goes.
That was Loeb's front tyre smoking after the impact.
Sure was.
Time. I think maybe there was a bit of body work in there, but bingo, bango, bongo,
yeah. Bingo, stingo. And suddenly, Muller's getting a move on as Lopez is still out of the points. This is a good race weekend for Van Muller. Out-qualified him, outscored him in race 1. He's going to outscore him, not by a big amount, but he's going to outscore him nevertheless in race 2. And Muller now behind Vallant. Ugo, prepare for contact, because it's coming. You know Muller's coming. Rob Huff in 2nd. Is he going to be able to close at all? Look at that. Pachito throwing the Citroen around. He might be right on the ragged edge. Muller straight up the centre of the track. Vallant tried to defend on the inside, and even that wasn't enough. Now he's got a bit of drive. See, RML Chevrolet still has great traction off the turns.
Watching Loeb's getting back involved as well, I think.
Yeah. Oh, and Ugo's car hopping around horribly there. I think that might have been a little nudge from behind from Sebastian Loeb.
Yeah, I think so.
Muller is through, and that makes him now 6th. It's taken a long while. This is now lap 15 for Rob Huff and Larder. At the start, he was 3.29 behind Thiago Monteiro. Last lap, Montero 42.18, Huff 42.5.
Yeah,
but he had to get by Norby.
I think that's what the Lada seems to have given up there. Maybe there was that little contact with Norby to kind of bent something a little bit, or maybe put the tracking out slightly, because he is definitely, the gap is definitely getting bigger again.
It might just be that actually Thiago did exactly what he said at the beginning, preserved his tyres and pushed like hell.
Yeah.
Preserved his tyres for half a dozen laps while Norby was stuck behind him, and now he might have one good lap in to just pull away from Huff to just seal the deal.
Yeah, he with his teammate behind him, well, sort of surrogate teammate, if you like, in the form of Norbert, then you know that he would have known deep down that that's not a major threat. So
well, he's not going to have him off, is he?
No.
On board with Tom Chilton, Hugo Vallon pulls over to the extreme left, and still Sebastian Loeb just drives by, and Chilton must smell the blood in the water because he knows that Vallon's got nothing left. Loeb's car smoking again under braking, so it looks like a wheel arch liner or something on the right front maybe is a little loose. Chilton being caught by Coronel. Coronel, who couldn't find pace with a map and a torch in race 1, whatever they've done for race 2, or whatever he's done in his head, suddenly he's all over Tom Chilton, who was way clear of him in terms of pace and positions in race 1. The two Royal cars are side by side, and they have Hugo Vallon holding them up in front. Chilton's looking inside.
Chevrolet sandwich going on there.
Yes, it is. We're on lap 16. Lap 15, beg your pardon, of 16. Battle for 8th place behind the Citroens, who have all squeezed by. Thiago Montero, the race leader, and the gap remains 3 seconds over Rob Huff. That deal, I think, is done, although Thiago's car was making horrible, scrubby, understeering noises there. Looking back again from Hugo Vallon to Tom Chilton. The pace of these cars will be slowed right down.
Now Rydell's getting in the mix as well.
Yes, he is, isn't he? Because he's still in clear air. Yeah, Ricard's had a good couple of races, and actually, if he picks up one spot here, he'll be back in the points on his return. And again, he'd never raced it, he'd never been here to Moscow before, so race 1, he was still not sure where you could pass, where you couldn't. Philippe de Corsac, who mentors Hugo Vallon. And Rydell now does know where you can pass here, doesn't he? Knows a lot more about this track than he did coming here at the beginning of the week. Montero leads from Huff. Gap is stable at 3.3. Huffy brought it down by 2/10, but that's not enough. Needed to bring it down by 2 seconds. Mikulicz in 3rd is another 1.3 behind. Nicky Katzberg in 4th place. A debut in the World Touring Car Championship this weekend. Qualified 9th, started race 2 on the front row, and he'll finish in 4th position if he completes this lap. That is a really, really good performance from the young Dutchman. I bet he's not half glad that Jaap van Lagen came and knocked on his door and said, my team might be looking for a driver, what are you doing?
Yeah, it's been a great weekend, hasn't it? And
yeah.
Maybe we'll see him back more often, who knows?
Well, who knows? I mean, he has got a programme with Mark VDS Racing in the Blancpain Sprint Series. He's supposed to be at Zolder today racing in equally sunny conditions, but Mark VDS gave him the weekend off to come and become a factory World Touring Car Championship driver. So, depends now who's got more of a call on his services. Because I think he's surely shown already that he's got what it takes, and he doesn't know the car and he doesn't know the track. And I think he's done a standout job. Standout job too for Thiago Montero. The pole sitter wins here in Moscow. Race 10 of the World Touring Car Championship. Victory for Thiago Montero and Honda. And Rob Huff could barely be happier. 2nd for Lada. Victor Shapovalov is thrilled with that. And 3rd place for Norbert Mikulicz, 4th for Nicky Katzberg, 5th Qinghua Ma ahead of Muller and Loeb, then Vallon, Chilton, Coronel, Rydell and Lopez. And a win for the Castrol Honda team. Alessandro Mariani is very happy. There's Zoltan Zengo, Norby's boss, going off to offer his congratulations. Marco Kolovalo shaking hands all round. And Viktor Shapovalov will have a big, big smile on his face.
Yeah, that's a great result, isn't it? It's good to see the Ladas up there and the Hondas. And yeah. Who would have thought before this weekend you'd see Honda, Lada?
Absolutely. Best of the Citroën Armada in race 2 was in 5th position. That was Qinghua Ma. Of course, he made history here last year by winning race 2, wasn't it, to become the first ever Chinese driver to win an FIA World Championship race. And there's smiles all round. This is a big, big weekend for Lada, the promise of the car. Marc Ferme. Your race winner in Moscow, race 2, round 10 of the World Touring Car Championship, Thiago Monteiro. Bravo, bravo. Well, there's some very happy Italians there in the Yasport team. William de Brecolaire in the background, the man who initiated this program. He'll be thrilled with that as well. Thiago's 6th career World Touring Car Championship win. And his last coming in 2013. So last year, an entirely winless season for him. And he claims victory again. There's Nicky Katzberg. There is Rob Huff. 2nd and 4th. And Jaap van Lagen as well, despite the fact he didn't have the greatest break in qualifying. And he had that suspension failure in race 2. He showed again that the car in the hands of all 3 Lada drivers has got genuine front-running pace. And there you go, Tom Coronel goes to offer fellow Dutchman Nicky Katzberg his congratulations. And to Huffy as well. Well, Alex Le Guy is in Parc Ferme. Let's catch up with our race winner here in Moscow,
well done.
Thiago Monteiro.
All right. It's very good. Very, very good. I'm not sure what I enjoyed most, watching you come second and Katzberg.
A brilliant weekend for WTCC here in Russia, and a fantastic weekend for you, Thiago. That was a brilliant race.
Thank you. Thank you. I really was looking forward, of course. It was very important. I mean, we had a decent weekend until then. I mean, with Gabriel on the podium already, you know, very competitive. And I struggled in qualifying for sure. And we managed to get this 10th place, which was very important, of course, for the final result. From that, you have to get a good start, focus on your front tires, push really hard. And, of course, a little bit of extra pressure at the end. Rob was doing a very fast race. I could see him coming step by step. So the 6 last laps, I did a qualifying run. I was good. I'm really happy for the guys. You know, we worked so hard. Everybody pushed so hard. Lots of frustration so far. But this is a very well-deserved win for the whole team.
There was an awful lot of drama going on behind you, but the Honda seemed to outpace the lot. It's good for Honda, right?
Definitely, especially with these conditions, very hot, you know. Well, having said that, we are actually quite better or good on these hot conditions, so it was actually quite okay that the temperature raised. We are very good in managing the tires, and that was the key here in the race. You know, when you're at the front, you can control a little bit your pace. It makes everything easier. It's not easy, but it's easier than being fighting. So I'm just very happy, and I'm going to enjoy this one.
So happy for you. Well done, Thiago.
Yeah, congratulations indeed to Thiago Monteiro, to the Castrol Honda team.
Yeah.
There's Norma Michaelis looking hot and bothered after finishing in 3rd. And he is our top Yokohama finisher.
Yeah, you can see the joy on Thiago's face there. It's obviously been a long time coming, that win, and you know, he's deserved it. He's been getting quicker and quicker, and he's kind of led that team over for the majority of this season anyway. So you can see he fully deserves that. And
he somehow seems to have shaken off the bad luck monkey that's followed him around for several seasons as well. If there was bad luck going, it always seemed to end up being Thiago's car that had, you know, the damage after minimal contact or whatever, and that seems to have gone. And even he recognises that, you know, you can't win on luck alone, but you can't win without the occasional rub of the green. So the championship then, 199 points gained in 10 races for Jose Maria Lopez. Ivan Muller is now 45 points behind him. And in 3rd place is Sebastian Loeb. That remains as it was And Thiago Monteiro has a win now to add to his 4 points tally in the championship.